49ers, they get beat 25-22 to the Chiefs in the Super Bowl in overtime. And look, if you listen to 95.7 The Game, you know the hosts inside and out. And here's the way I'm looking at this game.
Talk to us, man.
I think
I'm hurting for the Niner fans. Well, go ahead, man.
And you can do that once or twice, but I'm not going to let you overdo it because I think after a while you trying to mollify him too much might have a negative impact. But nevertheless, not that it matters. But I thought it was a great game. I really do. I thought it was a really good Super Bowl. I'm not a huge high-scoring guy. I thought there was a lot of good defense. 25-22 overtime. I'll take it. I think just in general, Goo, and I'll throw it to you, is I just don't feel like the Niners were good enough to win the Super Bowl, and I don't think they didn't play their best football in the playoffs, and they didn't play their best football yesterday, certainly, and Nobody really came through when they absolutely had to have somebody come through. And I think at the end of the day, that's what got them beat. They just weren't good enough, top to bottom, Shanahan to the 53rd man, the offensive line, the defensive line, just every player and coach on the roster.
Steiny, I appreciate that. And I appreciate what you just said, too, to sum it all up. This was not the Niner team in the playoffs that we were accustomed to. But, partner, I'm being real and I'm putting it all on the line. I thought they were good enough yesterday to win that game. They bludgeoned the Chiefs in the first half, and they didn't close the casket. And I don't know why they didn't close the casket, but I know some things that might have contributed to them not closing the casket. Let's put it right on the table early, Steiny. Number 71, Trent Williams had his worst game to me as a San Francisco 49er. I'm not blaming him, but there is no doubt that was his worst game in the red and gold. But the game was there in the first half for the Niner offense. And Steve Wilkes, if you're listening, Fred Warner, the whole defense, kudos to you guys, because I called you out in Vegas, and so did a lot of other people. And Steiny, from the opening play, the Niner defense set the tone and had Patty Mahomes. Look, he was shook. I put it on the Vine. I've never seen Mahomes like this. He's shook. And for whatever reason, Kyle and the offense could not add. They couldn't hit the plus button. So we're at halftime. It's 10-3. Dre Greenlaw, I have never seen anything like that. Kudos to you, man. That was heartbreaking. And I'm like, okay, now the Chiefs, I think you text the thread. If you're Kansas City, you're in a good spot after not playing and basically getting dominated to be only down a touchdown. And then I'm like, you know what? Patty Mahomes, I told Evan, that guy gets the ball at half, it's going to be 10-10 probably. He throws a pick, and yet the Niner offense couldn't capitalize. Steiny, I'm starting to think, I'm being real with you, buddy, and I'm going to pass it back. I overestimated this Niner offense as a whole. I thought they had playmakers, and we saw a secondary and a defense that was not scared of the Niners going over the top. And you had 7 against Green Bay in the first half at home, a 7 seed. You had 7 points against Detroit at home, which you should have took care of. And not to be able to close the door on on Kansas City yesterday, Steiny, they played good enough to win, pal. And that's why I feel bad for Niner fans, man.
See, I believe it or not, I look down their roster and I say Brock Purdy. He was okay yesterday.
Not bad.
Right. Not bad doesn't win you a Super Bowl, Goo. Not from the quarterback position. Not bad doesn't win you a Super Bowl. You know what? McCaffrey. Everybody's saying, well, they got to run McCaffrey. He touched the ball 30 times.
Well, 8 of them came in overtime, right. So he only had it 22 times and 16 on the ground in regulation.
So he got to 30, and I don't know if you saw him at the end of the game. He could barely walk.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay, so he had 22 carries and 8 receptions. So he got the ball plenty. And by the way, maybe he didn't run the ball 28 times because he was getting less than 4 yards a carry. All right? So to me, how was McCaffrey? He was fine. But you know what? He fumbled. So dock him a grade for that.
That was big.
So as good as McCaffrey was, he could have been better. How was Deebo Samuel? He was he was okay.
Yeah.
How was Kittle? He wasn't okay.
Invisible.
He was below okay. How was Ayuk? He was okay.
He was
How
open
was Trent
too.
Williams?
Go ahead.
He was less than okay. Well, guess what? You're going up against Patrick Mahomes. They weren't good enough. They weren't good enough yesterday. I don't think to beat that kind of team in a game that means that much. None of them. That's what I mean. This is a game where I don't blame
early on, Steiny. So you got.
But they hung in the game, and that's what they know. That's what they do.
But why did they hang in the game?
I come out of this game, and I don't blame any. I don't say, well, it's because of Purdy. It was comprehensive. Nobody from Shanahan to me to the 53rd man was grades out at an A+ yesterday or an A. Nobody played an A game.
Right, but yet you were in position to take it.
Right, but they didn't because they're playing Patrick Mahomes. You can't play a B- game in the Super Bowl and expect to win it. Maybe you can if you get a break or two, but that's the thing. As painful as this loss may be, every player on the 49ers has to be looking themselves in the mirror and say, we didn't play well enough.
Even the coach, too, Steiny.
Oh, exactly. I said coach down.
Okay, gotcha.
888-957-9570 is the number. You want to jump into the conversation? Steiny and Guru with you on 95.7 The Game. I really am having trouble signaling or singling out
I'm with you.
A 49er who, boy, he really cost us.
I am with
Everybody
you,
kind of cost you at one point or another yesterday.
The tragedy, I'm going Macbeth. The tragedy of the game was Kyle Shanahan early in the fourth quarter letting it all hang out on a 4th and 3. He bypasses the field goal. And I'm thinking, dude, if you don't get it, and they get the ball, and Patty Mahomes goes down, and you'll never live this down. And it worked out. They got a touchdown. To me, those are decisions that win you a Super Bowl. And Steiny, I was like, oh my God, the courage that took, and to have the Niners take the lead in that fashion, and Kyle on that stage just say the F with pressure, I'm trusting them, and have it pay off. And that not be the talk of the game or one of the moments, Niner fans will remember forever. That's tragedy to me.
Well, that's not tragedy. It's sports.
Macbeth.
It's sports. Okay. It's not tragedy. The other here's the other thing. They weren't buttoned up enough.
Oh, man.
They committed too many penalties. They did.
Early on. Okay. You're right.
Well,
I got you.
Hey. Well, they could have done more early, but they didn't. Why didn't they? Because they weren't buttoned up enough. I just don't think they were good enough. They did not play their best football in the postseason. We can all agree on that, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
The Chiefs were playing the most well-rounded football by the end of the year. The other thing is the Chiefs' defense might be better than the Niners' defense.
Well, with no Greenlaw, things change, But, Steiny, they got that interception after half, and I know you talk about McCaffrey. He was gassed. I get it. But for the Niners to go 9 straight plays and call 8 pass plays, that's not you feed the beast with just McCaffrey. And you took only 3 minutes off the clock in those 3 drives, which you went 3 and out.
Exactly. So you get an interception, you go 3 and out. You get a hold, you go 4 and out or 5 and out. You get another hold, you go 4 and out or 5 and out. It's it's not just one opportunity you blew. I get people are saying because they got the ball to 44 after the interception.
Oh.
Yeah. They didn't get it. Well, you know what? They committed a penalty on that next drive. I want to say Ayuk did something and they made it a 1st and 15 or a 2nd and 15. All those little things to me add up. Let's